Hello, my fellow Retrotopians, and welcome to episode number 127 of the podcast where we are talking God of War for the PS2. Before we get to that, let's have some fun with the introduction, shall we? First, where can you find us? You can find us at linktree/Retrotopia. That's linktr.ee/Retrotopia, where you can find links to the social media, Discord, which you should join because it's free. The Patreon, which you should join because there's also a free tier, and there's lots of goodies at the paid tier too. You can get quick plays, you can get New Game Plus for modern game reviews, and we've got some other fun stuff that we're cooking up. And the merch page, there's a brand new Animaniacs inspired design that's very fun and features the three hosts of the main show. Some of you have gotten them and posted them in the Discord, and they look fantastic. Yeah, that's it. I don't want to dwell on all the promotion stuff. So let's just get things started with our general comments and questions section, which we call the 9-bit banter box. All right. First this week comes from Brother Retro, who says, "Sam Sandwich, what does a horseshoe do? Are there any horse socks? Is anybody listening to me?" Yeah, of course we're listening to you. And horseshoes protect the hooves. Hooves. But all joking aside, I think there are horse socks, because those I think those like show horses have those leg warmer things, little like almost like dance leg warmers. So those are kind of like horse socks. And also, just do yourself a favor and look this up on like YouTube or something. Watch someone cleaning and trimming a horse's hoof and shoeing it. It's very satisfying. It's kind of like if you get into those like Dr. Pimple Popper videos, but like kind of less gross. They're just like digging out dirt and shit and like trimming up the hoof. It's like a long toenail. It's a really weird, if you think about it. Hooves are weird. Anyway, next comes from The Big Deal, who says, "You can only choose one as the GOAT. Buster, Job, or Tobias," from Arrested Development, of course. Please share your favorite moment of each. That's a good question for me. Well, I'll go with Tobias as my GOAT. I love Tobias. He's such a weird little man. But let's see. Buster, when he enlists in the army and plays the claw machine at the pier all day instead of actually reporting for duty, and then he goes home with his stuffed animals. "These are my awards, mother, from Army." And then also the sugar high off the corn syrup when they do the fake blood thing, when they want to pretend to kill the strippers and he thinks it's juice, he just drinks a bunch and goes nuts. Job, I'd say when he's trying to do that escape trick from prison, and I think I don't know if this is the prison one or if he's doing a different like escape act, but he swallows a key, and he's like wash it down with scotch, which awful idea, by the way. But he swallows the key and he's trying, as soon as he gets locked in the prison, he's trying to throw it up. He can't get it out. And he gets shanked in prison, and then when he gets to the hospital, he wakes up and he goes, "Ta-da!" I guess technically he did escape. And Tobias, there's just so many. God, Mrs. Featherbottom cracks me up when he falls off the balcony or whatever. When he tries to join the Blue Man Group, the fire sale. When he's trying to audition for that commercial where he pretends that he's on fire. "Oh my god, we're having a fire sale." The one that I think of a lot with Tobias randomly for some reason is when he wants to look tough and he goes to the leather store and then he just says, "I need something that says Daddy likes leather." Oh man, what a great character. All right, Julio the Destructor. This is another good one. Hey there, Salin, because originally Alan was supposed to have this intro, but I took it so he could have Mass Effect. I thought that said Satan at first too, so that's fucking rad. Speaking of Satan, what are your 3 favorite South Park episodes? That's another good one. I'm very, very partial to the Butters Cartman dynamic, so there's a lot in like the kind of middle seasons that I love, like Awesemo. He's from Japan. Like how Butters really thinks it's a robot and everyone else knows exactly that it's just Cartman in a cardboard box. Oh man, Casa Bonita, that one's great too, because he tricks Butters into thinking it's the apocalypse so he can take his spot. Oh man, and then that Make Love Not Warcraft episode is just such a classic. I gotta hand it to him. And getting like the like Blizzard got involved with it too, to kind of like give it some legitimacy. That was a lot of fun. Honorable mention, I don't know why I've been thinking of this one. It's opening day, MLB season. I went to the Brewer game today, so maybe I got baseball in the brain, but the one where they're playing summer baseball and they want to lose so bad so they can enjoy the rest of the summer, but so does every single other team, and then they end up in the Little League World Series. They like keep winning. They're like, God damn it. Oh, that is just such a fucking genius concept. That's so funny. And they end up having to go to Japan and play this, was it like super dedicated work team or whatever? Oh my god, what a great... There's more. I mean, oh my god, what a great show. Alright, Shane's World says, alright, hi Sam, what video game genre or genres would you like to see make a comeback? For me, it would be point and click style games like Hotel Dusk. Now, I've never heard of Hotel Dusk, but I think point and click games are a great shout out because they're very dated, obviously. Like, we've kind of moved past the, like, we played Leisure Suit Larry. I'm like already like thinking about that and giggling about it. But I wonder if there's any, I'd have to look into it, but I wonder if there's any good indies in that point and click genre, because that kind of feels like it would be a good way to make like a quick, fun indie game. But I played a lot of Day of the Tentacle, and then there was that Indiana Jones one. What was it fucking called? Oh man, hold on. Sorry, I should have had this in the chamber before I started recording. Indiana Jones point and click games. I only had one. I remember we got our first family computer and it came with Fate of Atlantis. That's the one. Oh hell yeah, it's on Steam. Fucking A. Oh. We gotta play this one. Holy shit. Yeah, that awoke some memories. Yeah, point and click is a good one. But I would pick, as long as we're on the subject of clicking, and I've kind of started playing through Warcraft 2 again for a future episode. A good old retro style like RTS game that has maybe some like quality of life improvements would be great. So like in that style and kind of simple, but maybe improve the AI so that they're not like wandering around, taking the long way around the fucking forest like the freaking units do in Warcraft 2. And then rail shooters. That's another dated kind of concept because that was a way to do like early 3D like Star Fox and is it Panzer Dragoon, I think. Yeah, I'd love to see Star Fox make a comeback. But let's be honest, if Star Fox makes a comeback on the Switch 2 or on a future console, like it's not gonna be the same. It's gonna be some sort of like fully 3D thing. But I'd love to see another Star Fox style. Maybe that's another one where there's some indies like it. But yeah, go to the indie well for sure. Like I bet there is a good indie game in each of those 3 categories that I've never even heard of. So good question. All right, fill up my mouth with farts says, I got a question. Hi Sam. Hi Philip. I got a question that I think about from time to time as I regularly game. And that is, how much guidance or hand-holding do you want as you play? Do you want a marker on the screen at all times showing the direction and distance you need to go? Or do you want to just have a little marker on your map that you pull up that shows the area you need to go? Or do you want to walk around blind hoping that you find the right way, like in some Souls games? How much is too much, too little? What's your happy medium? And what should game designers shoot for in this regard? Sorry for the long question, but it does have many parts. First of all, we welcome all your parts. Giggity. Good question, though, and I think it depends on the type of the game. If it's like a big open world game, give me a map, actually like a map up on the corner of the screen, like a little radar, like a HUD or whatever they call it. Heads up display, is that what that is? It could be, that might not be the right acronym. But yeah, like a little radar kind of map with little dots on it that kind of, or some direction. You know what I mean? Does Grand Theft Auto have something like that? I know, what was it? Tony Hawk, American Wasteland, because that was kind of open world-ish. As you're kind of just like free skating around LA. That's a fucking cool game, by the way. That's a good example of that. Or like Breath of the Wild, like being able to just kind of like pull up a map and you explore parts of it, you activate the towers. I mean, that's kind of a trope now with, you know, Horizon and Far Cry, and is Assassin's Creed kind of like that too? Where you get the tower and then you unlock part of the map. I mean, that's kind of, but you know, like even if the map isn't explored, you know, like in Breath of the Wild, that one, you know that there's like the temples that you need to go to. There's like 3 big main ones, and they're like kind of marked off on the map, I think, even if the area is not explored. So you know, like the general direction you need to kind of go explore in. I kind of like that, but it doesn't hold your hand too much because the map is freaking huge. And then I would say, like, for one of those, like, extra points to the game developer if you can toggle that on and off. Like, maybe you do want to just completely get lost and immerse in a game and just lose yourself. If you could toggle some of that stuff off, then you could really get lost. And then recently I played some pretty linear games that even do the goal markers and distance and stuff like that. I don't find that necessary. Like, if it's pretty linear, like, I don't need to know, you know, like, okay, you've turned this corner, now go down this hallway. You know what game I think kind of did that was, no, but it wasn't bad either. Metroid Other M did that, where it was like, yeah, there's like an area somewhere down the map that you haven't explored, but you at least know the direction that you need to go, because that was helpful, because it's like, I know I need to go past this point, but I'm not sure how to do it yet, so I got to figure it out. And that was good, because otherwise I would end up backtracking a bunch and not finding it, or finding it eventually after wasting a bunch of time. So I think it's nice to have, actually, and especially, you know, we don't have all the time in the world to be playing games when we're busy adults and such, so I think it's kind of nice. What I don't like is games that give you things that are meant to guide you that are just fucking useless. Like a Navi type character. When I played Sticker Star, I did a quick play on that. I can't remember if that's released or not yet, but that Sticker Star had some stupid little shit character that you could like ask for hints. It would be like, you're supposed to find the sections of Wiggler. It's like, yeah, I fucking know that. Where is it? Like, give me a hint on like where to look. Not like that I need to look. I know I need to look. Yeah, so I guess I don't know if I really answered that question. I just kind of rambled a bunch, but yeah, no, I like knowing where to go, or I like the game to kind of just like give me a little nudge or a hint, or even just like a goalpost to kind of like go towards, especially if it's a large game. Like, just start playing Mass Effect, and sometimes it can be a little obtuse where you need to go, because it's such a big world with so many people to talk to and all that kind of stuff. So that I could actually use a little more. Because you can, I mean, if you see the marker where you're supposed to go to complete your next objective, you could just like wait and go whenever you want. It's just nice to know where to go once you decide to, you know, go back to the path. So yeah, thanks for all the questions. Hopefully I kept it a little shorter this week. The last time I did an intro, it was kind of long. All right, now let's get into our game that we play every week, called Choose One, Lose One.
Ladies and gentlemen, roll up and choose your power-up from the game of the week. You pick a power, we pick a consequence. It's Choose One, Lose One, the game where everyone's a loser.
At least I think we still play that sound clip. Fucked if I know. But yeah, here we go. We got a bunch of these, so I'm gonna rattle through these. These are fun. All right, Brother Retro says, and these are all related to God of War. So here we go. Brother Retro says, I just want to be bald and beautiful. Well, you can be. And you know what? If you're bald, I can't recall if you are or not, but if you are beautiful. Don't worry about it. But in the spirit of the game, I got to take it away. So unfortunately, you are randomly going to shout, Ares, at the least appropriate time. Like work bathroom, taking a dump, Ares. Yeah. Middle of church. I don't know if you're a church goer, but Ares. That actually would be really bad. Don't do that at church because that's a different god and a different pantheon, and you might get frowned. That might be frowned upon. All right. Big Deal says, I've always wanted to be Fat Thor, so just let me be Fat Thor. Granted, but you didn't specify which Thor, so now you're just a regular fat dude named Thor. Huli the Destructor says, I want the ability to take down the gods themselves. Yes, but unfortunately that means you have to do all their jobs for each one you kill, so choose carefully because some of them have pretty shit jobs. Have you ever heard of Hephaestus? That's the one that's like I think he like can't walk, and he's like he's like not the forge, like the blacksmith of the gods or whatever. He seems like a miserable shit. Like whenever I would like read up on him. So yeah, watch out who you kill because you're going to take their jobs. McFlurry XD says, I would like the strength to whip that chain around like it's absolutely nothing. Granted, however, you are not accurate with it, so whip at your own risk. In fact, I'm going to grant you this and let me leave the room before you test it out. All right, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious says, I would like the ability to score bonus points when I bang a woman. You can, except sometimes it's just the clap. Shane's World says, never fully played a God of War game, but I'm guessing the main character never gets fat and can eat whatever he chooses, so I want the ability to consume any type of food I please without getting a big belly. Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because I think the most recent PS4, PS5 God of War games feature an older dad bod looking Kratos. So eventually it will catch up with you, but I will grant your wish. However, in the spirit of the game, and the gods really are catty bitches. We talk about this, and the Greek gods are vicious fuckers. You will always be hungry and never full. So you'll always have to eat to satisfy yourself, but you'll never be satisfied. But you'll look great. You look great anyways, I'm sure. Don't worry about it. Joe Friga says, give me the ability to actually look like a badass with my bald head instead of just an old piece of shit. There's so many of these are just like, let me look like Kratos. Yeah, Kratos he's cut, man. Granted, but you'd have the least badass job, and I don't want to like slander anyone's job, so I'll leave that up to you. Whatever you think the least badass job is, I don't want to say like kindergarten teacher and then someone's a kindergarten teacher, because I mean it's not a badass job, it's just an important job. It's a great job, but it's not a badass job. Greeter at like Meijer or Walmart or something. It's you and old lady Phyllis or something, but you look great with your bald head. All right, fill up my mouth with farts says, give me the ability to give 0 F's about anything like Kratos does. That's granted, but I won't give you a specific lose one. I'm just going to sit back and see how that plays out. Because Kratos doesn't give an F, and that comes back to haunt him a little bit. All right, Big Kid 782 says, give me that Spartan rage, and you're welcome, because I'm sure this will be the easiest thing to get screwed over. Yeah, you can have the rage, but your controllers will not survive this. Or really anything else. And you just rage at the gods, you probably destroy your house. But just thinking of like you go rage at the gods, you're playing a game, and you're just like whipping your controllers around like they're the blades of chaos. And then they're broken, you can't play anymore. All right, well, thanks everyone for playing. Let's turn it over to Alan for this week's Gentleman's Interlude.
I am Kratos, once a Spartan general, now the ghost of Sparta. Hear how my torment began in God of War. The game was forged by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. It first unleashed its fury on the PlayStation 2 in North America on March 22nd, 2005. Then in Europe on July 8th, 2005. And later in Japan on November 17th, 2005. My story begins in despair. Haunted by visions of my past sins, I seek release from the gods who bound me to servitude. Athena offers a chance of redemption. Defeat Ares, the god of war who ravages Athens. Thus I journey across a brutal world shaped by Greek myth, facing hydras, minotaurs, and horrors born of Olympus itself. Armed with the blades of chaos, chained to my flesh, I carve a path through enemies and solve ancient puzzles. The journey is not merely strength, it is suffering. Every battle reminds me of the terrible act that cursed my soul. To defeat Ares, I must find Pandora's box, hidden within the temple on the back of Kratos, a titan condemned to wander the desert. Trials test my rage and resolve. Even death cannot stop me. I claw my way back from the underworld itself. In the end, I confront Ares in a clash of gods and mortals. With the power of Pandora's box, I strike him down. Yet, victory brings no peace. My nightmares remain. Though I saved Athens, I am not forgiven. The gods offer me a place among them, but my vengeance has only begun.
All right, thanks, Alan. And now, comments on our Game of the Week from members of our community. Brother Retro says, many of hours spent playing this in high school with zero regrets. No need to delay the inevitable. Let's give Kratos his flowers and get on with it. Yeah, a great game, man. Hooli the Destructor says, a true gem, 10 out of 10. Exactly, a true gem. Not even a hidden gem, just a gem. I've only, this is from McFlurry XD, says, I've only played bits of this game and subsequent sequels, but I played Ghost Rider on the PS2 years prior. It was a movie tie-in game about Marvel superhero with Nicolas Cage from 2007. Oh, I remember that movie. My head's on fire. Until I played the first God of War, I didn't know that game was almost an exact clone of God of War, from gameplay and mechanics onto various HUD components. The minigame very early on in the game surprised me as well. Interesting. I've never played... Let me look this up now. Gosh, now I'm on another tangent. This could be a good quick play. Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider is a friggin' badass character, by the way. Too bad that movie was kind of not great. Wow, what the fuck? This is like... Yeah, this looks very similar to God of War. 2K Games and Marvel. At least they got a good developer behind it. Like 2K made some good stuff, right? And they're still around. Ghost Rider. I'd have to price chart that one, see if that's worth picking up. Good shout, man. Wow. All right, add that to the list. All right, Shane's World says, never fully played this. Hopefully that changes this year after I caught up with my backlog. You should have asked for the ability to catch up with your backlog. I don't know if I'm ever going to. But yeah, make room for this one if you can. If you've got PS Plus, that's how Brian played it. Apparently, this is a public service announcement for everyone listening to this right now. If you have not played God of War and you don't want to play it on original hardware, dig up a PS3 and play it on that collection. I think that collection is available on PS Plus. You might need to have the higher tier, but that might be a good way to play it because the original hardware, it's fine, but I think my setup, I mentioned it in the episode, it was a little dark and hard to see in some places. That might just be the game being a dark game, but whatever that, I don't know. Play it. It's good. Excuse me. All right. Fill up my mouth with farts says, this is the game that started Sony's rise as the console exclusive king. Great game. Even though it was linear, it didn't feel like it due to the size of the areas you played in and the bosses. Being thrown into the fight with the Hydra in the first 20 minutes was just an appetizer to what you were about to experience throughout the game. Love it and hope the remake does a really good job. Plus boobies. yeah, boobies indeed. Every single, almost, and we'll talk about the one that doesn't, but almost every single female character in this game has her big old titties exposed, because why not? It's ancient Greece. Everyone wore, I don't even know, like, we go back and we, like, put our own spin on ancient Greece, but I don't think ancient Greeks had see-through whatever frickin' like nightgown looking togas. I think it was just pretty much wool cloth. no one's tits were hanging out, unless they, well, everyone's tits were probably hanging out. Whatever. All right. Anyways, enough about tits. Which, funny enough, when we come back to the other side of this, we will talk about them almost immediately. So, released in 2005, developed by Santa Monica Studio, and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. God of War released for the PS2. That was a mess. 2005, PS2, God of War. Let's go. Alright everyone, welcome. We are here to talk God of War for the PlayStation 2, and with me is a man covered in the ashes of his family. Brian, how you doing? And my big-titted oracle, Alan.
I don't know which one I want to be more or less.
Oh, I have definitely come out better in this.
My family's dead,
yeah.
But on the other hand, I got Alan's got big jugs.
Yeah,
well, that's true either way.
I take.
I mean, have you seen me?
Well,
you're welcome anytime.
It'd be impossible not to just do.
I already look kind of like that oracle, but if I had a beard, like I have a beard, but I have the boobs, so.
Same.
Yeah,
same.
We've met your beard on the Discord.
Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah. It's got its own emoji, basically. Oh man.
God.
Yeah. So.
I love our starts.
Yeah, that was.
We're always off.
It's just
off the rails.
I just immediately crashed the car. All right. Well, God of War. This came out in 2005. So what were you? I was in college, starting college in 2005. So what were you guys? What were you guys up to? Did you play this game when it came out?
Nope.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. Alan?
I've never played this game at all.
Wait, really?
Oh, there you go.
Oh, outside of this playthrough here.
Oh, wow. Okay. But you'd played other games in the series. Really?
I've
nothing?
never played a God of War game. This is the first God of War game I've ever played. And I'll tell you why after Alan tells you why.
Crafty little
that's
shit.
interesting.
All right.
That is interesting. Conversely, I have played every last God of War game, and I didn't actually play them back when they released, but it must have been somewhere in the neighborhood of about 10 to 15 years ago when I started recollecting for the PlayStation 2. I picked this game up, and I was gutted that I didn't actually play it, because this would have been the perfect game for me to play back in the day, because it kind of almost has a sort of uber violent Prince of Persia feel to it, and for anyone who doesn't know, Prince of Persia is one of my favorite gaming trilogies of all time. So this would have really, you know it. This would have really floated my boat back in the day. But no, late to the party. But since then, I have just absorbed every single game in the series and loved it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Hold on. I will have said this in the intro, but this came out in March of 2005. For us in the U.S. Or North America, EU July 8th. So I played it shortly after it came out, so I must have played it in probably like fall of 2005, because I have distinct memories of being in my freshman dorm, and someone on my floor had this game, and I think just like as you do when you live in a situation where you got like a bunch of people just like doors down, you exchange stuff, right? So like I think it was between Star Wars Battlefront 2 constantly and this, and we would just like each of us had a file, me and my good friend, what's up, Mark, still friends, or childhood friends and roommates in college, and then also we played this game
Mark.
a ton. Hey Mark. He listens
hi,
sometimes. We played the shit
Hi, Mark.
we played the shit out of this game, just like nonstop until we finished it. And this was, it was something else. I just remember we were all obsessed with it when it came out. And maybe it was, I can't remember if the second one was out by the time we were playing this one, but I do remember playing a little bit of the second one too, but I don't think I finished it. So that's a good story. But
I like it.
yeah.
I miss those days. We used to do the
Not
same.
enough Mark for me.
Needs
we
more
need
Mark.
We need more.
But this was the kind of era where I'd just be going around a friend's house all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes even when I probably should have been going to school. And, we'd have a PS2 and a GameCube and all of that stuff going on. And we just play all sorts. But this one would just never, for whatever reason, just never came across our screens back in the day. And that is a shame. But, yeah. And I don't know any Marks.
No. Well, I do miss Edgelord Poseidon, or Edgelord Kratos here. Like obviously the series has been rebooted and evolved over time, and now like when you think God of War, you're not thinking the original 3 God of War games. You're probably thinking the remake and Ragnarok, and all great games as far as I know. I've never played any except for this one, but you don't have this like oversized chaos blade, like doesn't give a fuck about anything, wants to kill a god, banging big titty women like Edgelord Kratos. Yeah,
it's pure revenge porn. It is.
Yeah.
Everything around this kind of time was just getting back at something. It's like, I don't know, ancient Max Payne.
Yes.
It's just that kind of nothing to lose, gonna take on impossible odds and just be incredibly violent with it. And for some reason, that was us in the early 2000s. We loved that shit.
Oh yeah, you just need a big Vin Diesel looking muscle dude to like. There's lots of blood, lots of boobs, and for a game with, and not to harp on the boobs so much. I mean, the Harpies even had little boobs. But it was one of those, it was just one of those things, right? Where it was like, we're not far off from the premiere of like Game of Thrones and like the HBO prestige, television and stuff. And it was a lot of, like, for whatever reason, we were just a little bit more okay with nudity being a little bit more ubiquitous. So it's like, there's not a lot of other characters in this game, but when they are and they're female, you're going to see their boobs.
It's just how it was in ancient Greece.
Yeah, everyone's got their.
I'm surprised there's not more dong, frankly.
Yeah, there should have been, a little bit of dong in there, Here, dude hangs dong. Oh man.
Speaking of dong, Brian, you've been quiet.
Yeah, you guys kind of took over, and I just sat back. You guys were all about these boobs, and I don't fly that way.
You
guys.
just don't like the boobs.
No,
This is a family show.
That's fine.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
No.
Yeah, we'll get into the other stuff though. Yeah, Brian, what do you got?
Yeah, again,
Sorry.
45 minutes about boobs, and then 15 minutes about the game.
Yeah, game was fine. No.
Maybe it's because they didn't actually portray any sex or something like that, but the fact that this game got a mature rating, but what is it, Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4? I can't remember which one. No, San Andreas got an adults only rating because somebody modded the game with a sex scene, or that you could see the sex.
Interesting.
Hey, pick a fucking lane, rating board.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
this
it's
was-
just like the violence more than anything else. It's
I think
you know,
it's
those
mostly-
young impressionable minds
There's
might.
no violence in this game. You know, it's America. You don't give a shit about a kid getting his head shot off as long as a titty doesn't pop out.
Well, I mean, this might
this one's
influence. This might influence the young to, you know, lash a couple of chains to their arms with massive oversized blades on the. I don't know. It's ridiculous, but I just, it's pure catharsis. This game, it's just nothing too. Although I will say, you know, there are a few puzzles that'll have you scratching your head here and there, but for the most part, it's just here you go. Here's swarms of enemies. Here's a couple of blades that defy the laws of all manner of physics.
Right.
Go nuts and have fun.
Yeah, let's worry about the laws of physics where there's a giant god stomping on people.
Well, yeah, exactly that.
This game is not realistic enough.
The science is very important. Yeah.
Well,
Sure is.
I mean, they do call this action adventure. You know, that does have puzzle solving elements, but a hack and slash, and it's kind of funny because if you would ask me, you know, hey Sam, do you like hack and slash games? I'd be like, nah, they're not really my style. But I absolutely love this game, and I've also played not a lot of Dynasty Warriors, but the Hyrule Warriors game, the second one.
Oh God, yeah.
It was just so good, and that is also a hack and slash. There's something really fun about just like getting surrounded by enemies and just like absolutely mowing them down. And this game is a little bit less, you know, you're not fighting necessarily crowds of enemies, but it is like several enemies at a time, and some of them, you know, well, it seems like they're kind of programmed to surround you and try to, you know, make it so that
They come at you one at a time.
yeah, and they're ping-ponging you too. Like some of that
Yeah.
gets a little frustrating, but yeah, it is just like throwing these blades out. So if you've never played it, which I can't imagine you're not at least familiar with Kratos, you have these two blades, and they're chained to your forearms, and then he throws these blades out on chains. Like, is there really any other character that has a similar mechanic? I mean, it's like a
Rygar.
oh, fuck you, god damn it. Yeah, Rygar. So basically this is our second Rygarvania, or whatever the hell we're calling it now. But yeah, I guess Rygar, or whatever, the whip of, you know, Castlevania whip or whatever.
Disc
But
shield.
I still think these are pretty unique to have these two, basically knives, the blades of chaos that are suspended by chains. You're just like freaking whipping them around by the chains, like just really cool.
So
Yeah, but
iconic.
didn't the game Heavenly Sword have kind of a similar feature where she swung around two swords and stuff like that?
Never played it.
I
Couldn't
don't
tell you.
either.
It's also like a boss rush. It's actually the game that made me not want to play God of War.
That's a PS3
Oh, really?
game. That's a PS3
yeah,
game.
and I didn't
No,
play God of War up to this point.
No, God of War came first. This is
I might
That's
even.
not-
It came
nonsense.
first, but
that's nonsense.
you said it was unique.
It is unique, and especially is unique at the time. Like I don't know of any other characters that were swinging blades attached to chains. Like, it's just a cool concept. Like, he's at one time like I guess like enslaved by these chains. Like he's in the thrall of the God of War, but then also like he can use these chained blades as, you know, horrible weapons. Like, just absolutely flinging them around and causing all kinds of chaos with them. Well, they are the blades of chaos.
Yeah, and it's like somebody said, well, what's cooler than like twin handling blades? Well, how about blades that you can use from about 20 feet away? And
Right.
do you know what? They were right, because first of all, the Blades of Chaos are iconic
Yeah.
in video gaming now, I think. And second of all,
Nope.
they are
Right.
so much fun to use. Like, all the different combos and lifts and airstrikes and things like that. I mean, it kind of has... Do you know what it kind of feels like to me? It's kind of... They mixed both the gun and the sword from Devil May Cry and made it all one thing. Because you can do the juggling and attacking in the air and all of that just with the one weapon.
Right. And then I mean, you can build up these combos, and they'll be like brutal combo or whatever down in the bottom. It doesn't say it, but, you know, I just kind of read it in that voice because it's, the kind of font that it's in. But do you get extra? I believe you get like an orb bonus from your enemies when you kill them, because you can get these red orbs that are basically your kind of experience points you can put towards upgrading your weapons and your abilities. And the cool thing about the Blades of Chaos is there's like 3 or 4 levels to them, and as you upgrade them, you unlock more combos. So while they are weaker in the beginning and you can only do set amount of things, every time you upgrade them they get a little bit stronger and you can do more combos.
Yes, and
Cool
I found that so necessary, especially by the end of the game. It's just like this game is, I mean, it is a hack and slash, but it is pretty challenging. I mean, it's not the hardest game in the world, but like you do have to like lock in and pay attention to these swarms. And so I'm trying to remember the combo that I got by the end of it that just helped me out no end. Somebody else talk.
Square, triangle.
No,
that was a
it
good
was like
one.
square, pause, and then hold square, and you would just go to town. And I cannot think. I'll find it. Carry on.
Well, there was one because you could block, and the blocking is pretty generous. Like you could get hit from behind and have your blades up and block. And you can block most enemy attacks. It's just that like the timing of when multiple enemies are attacking you at once, sometimes it's tough. But the one thing I remember using a lot when I first played it was throwing up the block, and then he would kind of do a parry where he would block, and then he'd like bring the blades out to the sides, and then if you hit square at the right time, he would like unleash the chains and just like whip them forward in like an arc, like from both sides, and you could just clear everyone that was in front of you. So it was like kind of like a perfect parry before perfect parries, I guess. I don't know, whatever. It was like a particular animation that if I saw him react that way, I would just hit the square button and then he would just freaking clear house. And then
That's it.
It would kind of clear out the area in front of you to then assess and figure out where you want to go. Who you want to attack next.
Might of Hercules, there it was.
That's what that was called?
That's I mean, it might be.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's just it would eat through those fucking minotaurs in no time.
Oh yeah,
very useful.
Those were rough too. Shield slam. Oh, this might be in God of War 2, because there's different. The cool thing about God of War 2, if I remember correctly, is there are a couple different weapons. I think there's like a bow and a hammer and stuff. This game was pretty basic. I mean, it was just the Blades of Chaos, your magic abilities that you would get, and then are you ready for my hot take?
Go on then, lay it on us.
As iconic as the Chaos Blades are, I like I think it was like the Artemis blade, which is like just like the big honkin' like bastard sword. I like that better.
Sacrilege.
I know.
Sacrilege.
I know.
It's like I don't even know you, dude.
I know. I think it's more my style.
To be fair, I didn't actually use the Artemis blade because I don't know. It's just something about I like the speed and the agility that you get with the Blades of Chaos over the slower and inarguably more powerful. Like, sure, I'll give you that. But I don't know. I just like the range. I just like the whirling dervish that you turn into.
That is.
I think it looks a lot cooler.
It does, and I think I'm probably just like not skilled enough to sit down and learn all the combos, because if I were in there was one section where like a wall is closing in and the basic kind of soldier enemies are dropping down and you have to kill like a certain amount of them or kill all of them before it'll let you progress, but if you don't kill them all the time you get crushed. I just threw those Chaos Blades together and just started whipping around that Artemis blade in close quarters, and it's like when it connects, there's like a little bit of like slowdown on the screen plus a little bit of rumble in your controller. And it's just like, oh, it really feels like when you connect, it's like, I feel like I'm doing some fucking damage.
That section sucked for a start. Like that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
We'll get into some of the timed stuff later on, but that was certainly a sticking point. Brian, break the deadlock
Yes.
here. Like, Blades of Chaos or Artemis Blade? Like, what?
Mm-hmm.
Where do you land?
I'm just amazed that you guys are pausing long enough to let me slip in here because you've been going like just snap, 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 snap. I haven't had a chance.
Well, come here and slip in.
Yeah, I'm going to slide right in here, and I'm just going to simply say that I really like the, what was it called? The Blade of Gods.
Oh, what
'Cause there's 3 blades, 3 of us, so one of us has to pick each type, right?
Which one is that? The
You're
one he
talking
picks
about the
up
one
at
from
end?
like right
The
at,
one you get right at the end
right
of the
at the
game.
end. Oh, the less we say about that final fight, the better. But that's
Ooh, but you know
that's a
what?
fair
No, if I had
pick.
to pick,
That puts-
I had to pick. The game is based around the Blades of Chaos.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the entire fun of the game. Like Galen said, you're flipping around blades. The most fun blade that fires anything since the gunblade of Final Fantasy VIII, and we all know how unfun that was.
Shut your mouth.
But no, I tried the Blade of Artemis. I didn't get into it that much, so I just stuck with the Blades of Chaos. They're fully leveled up. I put everything else into that. What was that magic? The Army of Hades was the one.
Yeah.
Smart choice.
And yeah, so Blades of Chaos were fine. I'm not a combo guy, so I didn't actually memorize. I know square, square, triangle because you needed to break those shields using that one, and everything else was just me button mashing.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
shield.
I mean,
was-
Although I have to say, I have a PlayStation Edge controller, like the really fancy one for the PS5 there, and it has a button below the stick that changes your profile when you hit one of the square, triangle, circle, whatever button. And I accidentally kept hitting that, and I kept turning it to a profile for a different game, and all of a sudden my Kratos would just stop moving, and I'd be like, motherfucker, and it was pissing me off.
Wow. That sucks.
Because I was going so fast. It was mostly during the Hydra when you're right up on the top of that platform there. You're fighting like the final Hydra head. And he would knock you off the platform. You'd like fall back to the ship and you just get up grumbling, climbing back up the fucking masthead because Hydras like to wait for you to get back to the top to attack you again.
Makes sense. Can we talk about that for a start, that whole like opening scene? I know we're jumping all over the place here, but like, how fucking cool, how well does this game sort of set out its intentions right from the jump with that whole ship siege, Hydra fight, all of that going on? It's just so
I was
good.
on board right up until they made me balance on something and I fell to my death and I turned it off and I didn't turn it back on for like another month.
Yeah, the balancing sucks. And there's a fair amount of that. But like, yeah, this opening. Yeah, go ahead.
It's fine if you catch the edge, but fucking how many times I like catch the edge, but I'd already be in like the midst of another button press, or like I'd react and then I'd hit the circle button and you just slide right off into the depths of nothingness.
That's not even
so
the worst
frustrating.
place for the beams.
It's so frustrating when you're trying to be so careful too, and then all of a sudden you keep hearing that like, "Hoo!" when he's like, it's like, come on, dude, just stay on there. Oh no, but that opener is just like, I played through, I think when I first turned it back on and played through the beginning, I played all the way to the Hydra and then I turned it off for the night. But I was just like, I'm good. I need a smoke after that. That was perfect. You know, they could have like, what a great, you know, even if you're just kind of trying to sell this game or a demo of, you know, the very first portion of the game up to the Hydra, it's like, what a proof of concept. Just like this new style of hack and slash game with this crazy character and his, you know, absolutely insane chaos blades, and then the quick time events and like the kind of unique style of boss fight where you have that's where it lost me on that boss fight, is that you had to kill it using quick time events. Like you had to slam the Hydra's head into the post so many times, like tapping circle and then following whatever sequence you had to follow. I didn't find that as fun. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely dated at this point. It's pretty dated. But
yeah,
at that time it was new.
I mean, I like it as a mechanic. I think this game is maybe a little bit stingy with the time that it gives you for each of these, and that certainly comes to the fore much later on in the game. But, you know, I don't hate the quick time events because it kind of gives a more cinematic air to these fights. I mean, this is fucking Jason and the Argonauts stuff going on here, and it's you want it to be grand, and you want that finisher to be something special. I think this game does an excellent job of.
Sorry, it's such a good
the effects, they're mind blowing. But what was I going to say?
It would have been fine if they had one like QuickTime event to finish off the fight, so you got that grand cinematic ending. But the fact that you had to do it 4 times in order to kill this Hydra head or whatever boss you're fighting, out of the 3 bosses you fight in the game, like I said, it just, you're sitting there beating the crap out of this fucking thing, and it's like knocking off infinitesimal health, and all of a sudden the circle shows above its head, and you have to hit the circle and go through the QuickTime event, and it knocks off a quarter of the health. It's like, well, why should I have to fucking beat this guy up if I'm just going to sit there and go through an animation to hurt him?
I guess, but I was the guy...
Again, it's a minor gripe in the overarching, like, how I feel about this game, because it's not something that ruined it for me. I just wasn't enjoying it.
I think QuickTime events are very polarizing. Like, they're the sort of thing that you either really enjoy or are not fussed with whatsoever. And
Nothing.
I was the guy who loved them in Force Unleashed. Like, I do enjoy a good QuickTime event.
It's funny because I was just about to mention that, like, nothing is worse than the QuickTime event to end Force Unleashed, where like the button presses were so quick, like it was just fractions of a second, to where the only reason why I actually beat the last one was because I just guessed. Like, I was like, I got a 1 in 4 chance on hitting the right button, so I'm just gonna hit one of them when the last one comes up and hope that it's the correct one.
You do have to guess in this quite a bit as well, and the ones that piss me off the most, if there are any that do, it's not so much the button presses, it's the rotating the control stick.
The Medusas.
Yeah, and it seems to be very specific about where it wants you to start that roll.
I didn't have too many problems with that
and
for some reason this time around.
And the fact that they fucking turn you to stone, and I was getting pissed off, so I looked online to see if there was a way to break the stone, and the online video had the guy breaking it like that, but anytime I got turned to stone, they were on top of me before I could do anything, and I was dead.
Oh,
yeah, you have to
I
keep...
was working that stick like a motherfucker.
Yeah, you flip the stick back and forth, but like a lot of times for me when you're fighting enemies, just as by way of explanation, if you haven't played it before, there's tons of different enemies. We're not going to get into all the different kinds of enemies there are, but each of them has this, like, you fight them down far enough, and then a little, like, you'll hear the sound, and then a circle button will appear over their head rotating, and if you approach that enemy and hit the circle button, Kratos will put them in a hold, and then you can do some sort of QuickTime event that will kill them. And like, the tougher the enemy, the harder the QuickTime event is. Like, those big trolls with the clubs are pretty tough. And then certain ones will, like, I think if you kill a Minotaur with a QuickTime event, it will always give you health. So if you're low on health, you can take advantage of that. And like, the Medusas will always
give you magic.
Mana. Yeah. So for me, like, I always wanted to maximize the amount of red orbs that I was getting, and whenever you kill an enemy, they give you red orbs, and it's like, I want those. I want to upgrade my shit, and there's like plenty of chests around with health and magic in them, so I'm good there. I just, for the most part, I was skipping the QuickTime events and just continuing to fight until they died, so that I could get the red orbs.
It was situational, because I was getting enough red orbs, and I didn't have a problem leveling anything up, and I wasn't really leveling up a lot of the magic. I just kind of focused on the Hades one, and then I started leveling up the electricity, not the Zeus one, the other one.
Yeah, that one's great.
Poseidon's Rage. Yeah.
I love
that was one. Hands down my favorite for the entire game.
It was the one that got you out of a jammy dodger for sure.
Hell yeah, it was. And if we've established nothing else on this show, I like a good bit of electricity.
Oh, me too.
I like those electric powers. It's come up a few times now on the show, and I don't know. I guess I have a kink. Who knew? But yeah, that I would spam, just because when you get the crowds in close enough, you can just use, and you level it up, and you just keep tapping away on that circle button, and you can do some serious damage.
Well, see, for me, I always had it cocked and loaded for when I got surrounded there, and like I was starting to be batted around like a ping pong ball.
Mm-hmm.
I would use the Poseidon's Rage there, because it would stun all the enemies enough, and then I'd always forget to tap the circle button, but it would stun them enough I could get out of there and reset and fight my way through it.
Yeah, when you upgraded it, you could you could tap the circle button to do additional damage while it was going on, and it would actually like, so every time you upgraded it, it would increase the area of damage and increase the damage and give you the ability to give it a little extra with the tapping.
Yeah.
I hated Zeus's Fury. I know how important it is with the faraway enemies, and it's, you know, I actually missed Zeus's Fury the first time through, and you can actually get to the point where the guy, like, he's supposed to raise the bridge for you, but he's like, yeah, I'm not going to do it, because he's like a little pussy.
Yeah.
And I'd end up backtracking to find Zeus's Fury, and once I found it there, it's like, yeah, you can kill enemies from far away with lightning bolts, and I kept trying to, but it took like 4 or 5 lightning bolts to kill one enemy, and my magic was half depleted. I was like, fuck this.
That is a weird segment, because the game kind of progresses where you're kind of encouraged to go up this ladder and fight along these rooftops, where I think you are supposed to actually turn left and go across the bridge. But in that spot where you could either go across the bridge or go into this building and go up the ladder, it doesn't look like the way that the bridge is situated and the way it's on fire. It doesn't look like you can go that way. So I actually went to the rooftop
yeah,
first.
That's right.
And it really kind of fucked me over.
That's the same thing with me.
Yeah.
And those chests that you find on, like, after you're on the rooftop, you go to the left and swing over that chasm.
And you get peppered.
And you find all those chests, but they're like shooting arrows at you.
Yep.
I got all those chests before I got Zeus's
I
Fury.
did too.
You have to be lucky. I was just like,
fucking liar.
No, I did.
I was flipping
I did.
out.
I was timing
I'm just
it.
sitting there like,
Yes.
yeah, like they would shoot the arrows there, and then you would walk up, and then as soon as the arrows landed or missed you, you start opening it, and it took me forever.
I tell you what, I was
like,
getting
I had to
fucking
go
pissed
get
though.
the health filler.
Yep. That was the one thing that I forgot about this game when I so much stuff came back to me except for this.
I was
going to do it though. I was fucking hell bent on doing that. I would have quit the game at that point had I not been able to get those chests. And then I get Zeus's Fury. I'm like, you motherfucker!
I was trying, and it was just like, ow, quit it. Ow, quit it.
Yep.
Ow,
Yep.
quit it. I
That's
just
like
could not get anything
90%
done.
of it, and then you luck out and get the chest open. Then you move on to the next one and repeat that for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I did.
But you
I
know
had to
what?
block and time it and everything. Yep.
I think you're supposed to go that way and go through all of that and go find the guy on the bridge and everything like that and just think, well, what the fuck do I do now? And then when you come back with Zeus's Fury, you're just like, oh, well, you guys are fucked now.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, it's just that little bit of satisfaction.
Little tickles.
Yeah, a little tickle.
No, well, you still kill them all.
Little zap. Well, I tell you what, I did open those chests, and when I got the lightning bolts and I remembered that, I was like, oh yeah, there's that power. And I was like, oh, those chests are all open, but I'll be damned if I'm not going to go back and kill all those motherfuckers, because I was getting so pissed. I was like,
go
like,
get your revenge.
I remember I got the lightning bolt, and then I was just like talking to myself, like I'm insane. But
You became Kratos. I mean, let's
I was
be fair,
like, I'm gonna fucking kill you guys.
Well, he
Yeah.
would. He would go back and do that
Yeah,
because
of course he would.
he does not give a fuck in this game. Like anyway, like going back to the Hydra fight, it's just like it establishes very early on that this guy is basically just out for himself, and anyone who gets in the way is collateral damage. Like when he boots that guy down the Hydra's throat, fucking savage.
And it's hilarious because there's a callback when he goes to Hades.
Yes.
That guy is falling, and he's like kicks him. He's like, "Not you again!" And he kicks him down like, ah.
Outstanding. Fucking hilarious. What a savage.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh god. After that whole fight, when the game opened up and you're in Athens there, and you start running through the streets and everything's kind of blocked off, I kind of noticed how often that you would end up circling back to an area you've already been, but like one level up.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember this one, like you have to chase this lady up the stairs, and then she jumps off a balcony, and you jump down, grab the key, and then you open up a latch which carries you on in the game. Well, you end up back in that area, and I saw her down there. I was like, is that lady? And I ended up falling off that platform, which would mean I'd have to go all the way through the game, I thought. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I started running around seeing if there was something, and thank God a ladder showed up. And like, where the fuck was this ladder like 3 hours ago?
It wasn't there.
I think
they
actually,
added.
I think it actually comes down when you hit that point. Yeah, there's a little clip of that just falling into place.
But it was good that it
which
was
is
there,
very useful.
There's a bunch of red orb, and in the first part of the game, like there must be multiple, because you know there's treasure chests, like we mentioned. There's the ones that are glowing red that have red orbs in them, and then there are ones that are just plain. And a lot of times those have different items in them. So you have the Gorgon eyes that if you collect 6, you get a health boost. And then there's the Phoenix feathers, you collect 5 and you get a magic boost. I think that they're sprinkled throughout the game, but there is a certain point where if you've maxed your health, then you just get bonus orbs out of those, is what it kind of seemed like to me. I can't prove that or disprove that or whatever, but it just kind of seemed like once I got to Pandora's Temple and Hades or whatever, like the 2 additional sections in the game, like I wasn't finding, like I think I had found pretty much all of the eyeballs and feathers in Athens and was pretty maxed out.
That's a fair point. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, towards the end, like, I hadn't maxed out my magic, and I was still finding the feathers, and I must have maxed out my health then because I just was not coming across the Gorgon eyes anymore.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I
you might be onto something.
I maxed out my health, and same with me. I was like 1 or 2 feathers short from maxing out the magic.
Yeah, Brian is 1 or 2 feathers short of a maxed out magic. That's that's pretty funny. That's what I use as a euphemism instead of a few crayons short of a full box or whatever. He's a few feathers short of a full magic bar. Of a rainbow. Yeah. Oh man, you know what I was, what I wanted to go into a little bit is just how kind of like if I hadn't played this game now, like in the year of our Lord 2025 or whatever, and I'm just thinking about my memories of playing it 20 years ago. I'm thinking that this is a longer game than it actually is, and it's actually fairly short. There are only kind of 3 main sections.
It takes about 9 hours to complete, and I was not expecting the Temple of Pandora to take about 6 of those hours.
It is
that
massive.
One caught me off guard.
Yeah, it is a massive middle section. Most of this game takes place in this Pandora's Temple that's on Kronos. But how cool is that section?
Oh, Kronos,
from the desert, and you have to blow that horn, and then this big, like, derpy-looking Titan, crawls up with the whole temple chained onto his back, and you have to climb it and stuff. Like, just like some of the, they're really, I had not played anything quite like this before, where everything is set up so cinematically, and it doesn't have a free-flowing camera. The camera angles do kind of fuck you around a little bit sometimes, but like all of the angles are very deliberate in showing you, like big views over cliffs and just the scale of how
stomping people.
Ares, he's in the background fucking shit up, and you got to climb this giant, freaking Titan, whatever piece of rock that's on his back. Like, all of that stuff is really cool.
Oh, 100%. And it really does get that sense of scale to literally everything. And it kind of has that, I guess, 300 kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
In that it's that wonderful blend of kind of real history, but with the mythology very much present in it. It's very much a tall tale, and it's told exactly that way, with all the requisite sort of blood, guts, and just over the top action that you'd expect. And the set pieces are brilliant. I mean, I have to admit though, playing it this time round, it's been a minute since I'd played it before, and I had almost completely forgotten about Athens. And all of my lasting memories of this game are actually in the Temple of Pandora. And, it feels like the game kind of forgets about Athens, and, you spend all of this time...
Does.
Yeah, all this time in the Temple of Pandora while, Athens is literally being smotened, and it's just like, take your time, get Pandora's... But, they'll probably be fine over there, and by the time you come back, I'm sure there'll be at least, I don't know, a cat or something to save.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what shocked me, is how much focus the beginning of the game had on Athens there, and then they show you Ares, like you said, basically fucking shit up, and then you just disappear. But I will say that the game taking place in that temple was probably the best part of it. because, like you said, it's really well done, and the puzzles in that got increasingly difficult as you went along, and it got to the point where I ended up going right to a walkthrough to get through the puzzles, because I was like, I'm just not going to sit here and struggle anymore, because I like puzzles in games, and this game was no different. The puzzles were they're exciting to do. Once you figured it out, you got that like feeling of happiness that you get when you solve a puzzle on your own. But by the end of it, I was just like, how many times do I turn this room around to open the door to shoot the laser beam, and what?
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
You do have to kind of like open your brain a little bit and like really kind of conceptualize the space, because it is tough, because it doesn't have that 3D or like fully 3D component where you can rotate the camera. So if they want to hide something out of sight, they can and will do so. Like a lot of the extra chests that had orbs or Gorgon eyes or whatever, or like a switch that you need or something, might be hidden out of sight in a way that like you have to kind of think outside the space that you're in.
True, but I think the camera does a good job of like, if not explicitly telling you where things are, there'll just be a little nudge in that direction from the camera.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It'll be like there's something.
It'll tickle your taint there just a little bit to get you excited enough to go explore that one spot.
Yeah, exactly. Although there are certain sections like the platforms that raise up. I can't remember what challenge is it. Is it Poseidon or something? I think. And there are those platforms that take you across the room, and there's basically nothing there. And the statue, it just says, the statue will point where to go. And it's just like, well, okay, well, there's fucking nothing down there. And it's just like really clever that it hides the doorway in the raised platforms. You have to swim down and get into it, and it acts as a lift. And it's just like, but that's pretty clever. But I'm not sure I would have figured that out right away.
I appreciate two things about this game. One, there was no combat in water, and two, there was no breathing mechanic.
Yes.
No.
Just let me fucking swim from point A to point B, throw a puzzle underwater, I don't care. Just don't fucking make me try to fight in a 3D space like Kingdom Hearts did.
Yeah, and I
mean,
really
what was it, the Poseidon's Trident or something like that got you breathing underwater? Such a good mechanic.
That's a really easy mechanism of like, you want to have an underwater section? Well, sure. Does he have to breathe? No, because this god just gave him the power to be able to breathe underwater. Yeah, that's fine.
Here's a MacGuffin.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I actually liked that section of like swimming around. There were a couple of wonky parts that you had to do like timed, like that section you have to like swim through that gauntlet where like the razor blades are coming in. That's kind of annoying. Walls that are closing in. And you have to do things in a certain amount of time. Just, I guess now is a good time to talk about like any of those puzzles or sections that you had to do under a time limit. Really, like, I remember having so much trouble with a couple of them in particular when I first played it. I knew what to expect this time around, and I got through it much quicker. But there's one where like, and it's always with harpies, and they're so easy to kill because they don't take a lot of hits, but they're just like hovering just on the edge of your range unless they're kind of coming in to attack you. And there's one section where you have to like fight a bunch of enemies, and then if you don't, like, if the time runs out, then the floor opens up and you drop.
Yeah.
I think I had a Rage of the Gods saved up, and I was just like, I hit that and just I was out of that room in like less than 10 seconds.
The Rage of the Gods was so useful.
Yes.
And again, for anyone who doesn't know, I mean, you basically, the more you fight, the more you build up this meter, and it will just allow you to click the L3 and R3 buttons and just go to town. And that was a room clearer. Like, I would save them for sections that I knew.
You can't save them if you're me. You sit there and you squeeze controller because you react, and all of a sudden you're in the middle of nowhere using the Rage of the Gods.
I did trigger it on accident a couple times. I was just like, God damn it. Like, whatever, but there were definitely some times that it kind of saved my ass. Like, I saved it for that section. Anytime that like I would just kind of save it, and like if you had those big troll things that were kind of hard to hit even with your Blades of Chaos in the range, like I would use it on those. I saved one to the end where you're fighting all the little Kratoses
Ugh, yes, 100%.
Just beating yourself off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake.
I really hated
Eloquently
that section, though.
put.
I was playing that, Sunday morning. I was just like losing my mind. I was like, come on. Like, and it's so long, and they make you watch the cutscene again, and it's just like, I know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I know that I can hug my family and give them health and whatever. Like, I just wanted, like, I was using the Army of Hades and trying to hold on to that Rage of the Gods as long as possible, and finally got through it. But I was like, oh my god, this section sucks.
That section was such bullshit.
See, that's something that I disliked about this game, is sometimes when you got into just the battle sections, they went on forever. Like, you'd be three Minotaurs and a bunch of Legionnaires, and then the Harpies would show up and be like, just go on and on and on. It was like, get it over with, because I just want to carry on, but I've been here for 5 minutes just fucking beating down enemies.
Right.
I'll give you that. Yeah, they did, just when you think you've done it as well, like more enemies to turn up and more, and it's especially egregious in that end section there with all the Kratoses. And it's not the only section by far, but yeah, sometimes
that's
it just
where
like
the power of Hades came in handy.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess
yes. I just found that really did go through your magic meter. That's why I was using Poseidon so often.
Yeah, you're only good for like spam 2 of those Hades things. Like, it took half your fully maxed out, mind you, like the fully maxed out magic meter, you could only use it twice. But it was so powerful.
It was.
What else was I going to say? There was something I was going to say about
the block.
Oh, bosses. Just bosses in general. Like, it's kind of interesting that there's only really three or four maybe bosses in the game. I mean, you've got the Hydra at the outset. You've obviously got Ares and all of his phases at the end. And then there's like that giant Minotaur. That boss was fucking cool.
I like that boss.
Yeah, that is a fun one. As long as you...
That one was, once you figured out you had to like knock him around before you shot him with the big post, it was good to go.
Yeah.
I love the fact that you go to that room beforehand, long before you even get into that fight. And obviously you're going to explore the room, and you find that lever, and you fire that off, and just like, well, that did nothing. But then when you go back there, and that fucking Guardian or whatever chases you, you're just like, oh, hang on, I've got something for this. And it's just that moment of realization that I know how I need to win this fight. I just need to set it up. And it's just so satisfying when you do.
Yeah, you fight him until basically he's like standing upright and dazed, and then you can run. And that's the thing, though, is like the room is so large that it's like, oh man, there were a couple times when like I would kind of forget what I was doing, and I was like just swinging away, and I was like, oh wait, he's dazed. I better start making my way towards the lever, and then I would,
oh no, you need to be moving.
He does snap out of it after a bit if you don't get there fast enough. And Kratos is not fast.
No, he is not. But every other boss fight in this game was just an introduction of a new enemy type, and I don't know. I found that lazy. Like, you fight a Medusa, and next thing you know, Medusas are common area. You find 3 Sirens, and next thing you know, the Sirens are all over the place. It just, I don't know.
I guess
not the way I would have introduced these like mythical enemies. Like, a Medusa should be a one-off, not an entire army of Medusas.
I do like the fact that the first one he meets, he pulls her head off, and that is then a weapon for you for the rest of the game.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Which
I didn't really use.
Like, you just carry this head. You're just carrying this head around with you.
They make you do a task with it.
You know a character I really liked?
Yeah.
You remember the gravedigger you meet on your way? And he's like digging the graves, like, I'm not done yet, but we'll see you soon there. And then you come out of Hades and right through that grave.
Yeah.
That alone is making me interested to play more, to see if he is explored more in further games.
I believe he is. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. Is. And it's cool. Yeah.
It is cool. That did kind of have that sort of again, that Wayne's World thing, though, didn't it? It's just like, seems like a lot of effort. I sure hope this is going to pay off later on.
Right. Yeah.
Wink.
Yeah.
But no, it was cool how that all came full circle.
Yeah, it's a neat callback where it's just like, spoiler, sorry.
Well,
but you climb out of Hades, and it's like, oh, I'm climbing out of the grave this dude's been digging.
Yeah.
But that's a great way to put you right where you need to be in the game without having to create an explanation later on, because
Right.
you come out of it and it's like, oh, that's what motherfucker was doing.
Yeah.
But this game
it's
does
gonna
that
be
a
cool.
lot. Like,
Yeah.
I found that it's really generous about putting you back where you need to be rather than having to backtrack all the way through the section that you've just done.
Oh, that was one of my favorite things is you finish a puzzle and all of a sudden a ladder will pop down, or you'll walk out a door or unlock a door, and you're right back, like you said, where you need to be. Like getting Zeus's wrath there, the lightning bolt. You do that whole puzzle and you go through this whole area, and then you end up right outside the door, right where you started. And I love that about this.
Yeah,
It is
very
it
generous.
is
It's very generous.
very like just ingenious level design where it's like, yeah, you go through this section and you're wondering about this door that's there or something, and it's like, well, it turns out, you know, you go through this whole section and you open this door from the other side and you end up back where you were. So that you can move on to the next section or clear, you know, you now have an item or something that you needed to go to the next thing. And it's just like really absolutely brilliant design of space.
Yeah, and it teaches you that very early on. So you get into this point where you're not really worried if there's a section you can't get through. You're sort of like, well, I can't figure this out now, but if this game has taught me anything, like I will be able to do this at some point later on, and it will probably be without me realizing it.
Yeah, like this hallway over here is open, so I'm going to go down there because that's the only, you know, I know that there's other stuff here, but this is what's available to me now. And as you go through it, you just kind of naturally, you know, end up opening more stuff and getting what you need. It's, I don't know. This game, if you've got the original copy, which I have a copy for PS2, and I explored a little bit of it once I was done, but there is a lot of special features. And that was another thing that was pretty cool about just kind of the PS2 era in general, was more not only cinematic gameplay, but just kind of attention to that, like making of, or, you know, special features like you would get in a DVD.
Yeah,
which is
that used to be
ironic,
all the rage.
yeah, PS2
You're
was
right.
like a DVD player, and it's like the games were like movies.
Like how many people bought a PS2 because it was a cheap DVD
Yes,
player?
exactly.
And that's why it sits atop the throne of consoles right now. It's not because, you know, well, it was a great console, but without that DVD player, I don't think it would have topped the charts.
Exactly.
No, that
But
was
yeah,
genius.
But just that feeling of like, wow, like this is a game, right? Obviously, but the way that the story is told, the way that like the scenes kind of play out, it does feel like a movie. You know, topped off by special
PlayStation's
features.
bread and butter,
Yeah.
because you got Uncharted 2, you have can't think of other games off the top of my head, but a lot of games from the first party Sony games tend to be very cinematic. Like Last of Us is very cinematic, obviously.
Tomb Raider.
The Uncharted series, God of War, even Ghost of Tsushima and Ghost of Yotai are very cinematically driven games, especially considering you have the Kawasaki mode in those.
Well, then is
Kawasaki?
it kind of fair to say that, I mean, this probably wasn't the first, obviously, but
No,
it's certainly
no.
part of a wave of games that established that kind of PlayStation style that is basically the norm now.
Right, and it's
Oh, it's definitely like at the ground level of the entire genre of cinematic games.
and
Yeah,
right. What I liked
definitely.
about it is like it is very linear too, where, you know, the world feels big, but you definitely just have like a path that you're kind of working your way through.
But it
It-
feels so open because
Exactly.
you end up going back to where you started. And if you do this big loop on its path, but for some reason it feels like you have infinite amount of places to go.
And it doesn't
Yeah.
feel overwhelming like a Breath of the Wild, where it's like, not to say that I don't like that game, but it is also the fact of like, this is a massive map, and or like Skyrim or whatever, you know, I've not played Skyrim, but like, you know, open world games where it's like, it's not linear, and there is some charm to being able to do and go wherever you want, but also like, I kind of want to know where to go sometimes.
Yeah, you never feel like you get lost in this game. Like, it does a very good job of funneling you where it needs you to go, which really serves the story because you are kind of on the clock. And it kind of makes sense that you're constantly going forward to this end goal of getting Pandora's box and then getting the power of the gods to be able to take on Ares. And it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense if there was a lot of faff to do beforehand, right?
Yeah, there's no side quests
Yeah,
really aside from like if you want to explore
well,
around.
it shows his singular focus in life, right? I mean, the story, as it progresses and it starts unlocking what happened, he's the leader of the biggest Spartan army, and he was losing to the barbarians, and he begs Ares for help, and Ares comes down and turns him into an acolyte there of his, and chains the chaos blades to his arms and makes him murder for him, and then it all comes to a head when you get the flashback of the only oracle who doesn't show her chest off because
good.
she's too old.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. But yeah, he goes in there and he's explaining like I killed everybody, and then he's like these last two people I killed, and I knew what was going to happen. And I was like, I know it's going to be explained, but I already know what happened, and this is the whole reason he's out to kill Ares. And it turns out, and it comes back to that later as the oracle curses him and turns his skin to ash using the ashes of his family, which Sam did to me at the beginning of the show. Yeah, I was just like, this is actually a really, really well done origin story for this character, and this is why he's an iconic character in the video game like sphere.
Yeah.
But the way they used the flashback, the way they narrated the explanations, the cutscenes to show it all, the very cinematic things, like the amount of time they put into that is just why this game is so well done.
Yes. Yeah. And I'll tell you what else as well. It's done so sparingly. Like, it doesn't exposition dump on you as you go along. You just get these little snippets of the story, little bits of backstory, a hell of a lot of gameplay, and then suddenly it never feels intrusive or that it slows the pace of the game down. It's just like...
That's the other thing. Like, when they have to explain something, you're running up like a big flight of stairs, and the narrator will talk about something at that point to give you a bit of exposition while you're running this long staircase.
Yeah. And I just like...
And there's a good chance that staircase is there to load the next part of the game to get that seamless feeling of the video games back then. So it's, again, just so well done.
I just like the way you don't get it all dumped on you in one go. And it's just like you do have to sort of learn this story as you go. And, it's not... It's a fairly obvious story when you think about it.
Yeah.
But
the
way it's presented is just so well done.
Well, and it does the thing that a lot of classic storytelling does, where it kind of starts you at the end and then works back to the beginning and shows you you learn more as you go along. It's a pretty classic storytelling style or method.
Was it in media res?
Yeah,
I think it's called.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I like that.
I think so.
I also like are the Greek gods not the originators of the concept of choose one, lose one? Like. He basically is like, I want to destroy my enemies, give me the power and I'll do whatever. He's like, all right, you're gonna kill your family. I wonder if that
Ares would be excellent at choose one, lose one.
Exactly. Like I tell you what, I haven't recorded it yet, but I wonder if my choose one, lose one aren't like, yeah, you can have your power, but you're gonna kill your family.
every single one.
Every
single
be
one. The answer for one. By this point, when I'm editing, if that's not the answer for one, we're going to be doing some re-recordings.
Yeah, no, like I don't want to. No, I'm probably not going to say that. That's a horribly upsetting thing to say. But
I'm gonna. But I mean, I'm not like very knowledgeable about a great many pantheons, but the Greek gods always just seem so fucking interesting because they're just such a bunch of screw ups.
They're such catty little bitches too.
They're a dysfunctional family.
Yeah. And
they're fucks.
You're all brothers
fuckers.
And sisters and sons of these people, and all fathered by Zeus, and it's just like, they need family therapy, and then everything would be fine.
Well, this is exactly why this whole game is happening, because Ares is pissed off because Athena is getting all the attention from Zeus. So it's just like, well, I'm going to destroy your first city then. And that's why you have to do what you need to do. But what really gets me... Okay, so Kratos is in service to the gods. He's already fucked off with Ares at this point, but he spent 10 years in service to the gods to get this crack at Ares to get his revenge, under the auspices that if he does all of this, they will take away his nightmares, his remorse, his regret over the killing of his family. Yeah. And, okay, I guess this is where we're putting spoilers out there, so if you don't want to know, then just, I don't know, whatever, skip or whatever. But you get to the end of the game, you do all of this, and then Athena enacts the most bullshit of all loopholes and just says, we never said we'd get rid of your
Oh, yeah.
nightmares, your memories, but we will forgive you of your sins. And it's just like, well, fuck
Yeah.
that. I don't care about my sins. Do you know how many other God of War games would have been avoided if they had just erased Kratos' memories and just let him crack on as the God of War? This would have been a one and done in the series because he would have no reason to be pissed off and go on. And I'm not going to spoil the other games, but it's just... What a stupid idea that was. Like, fucking hell, Athena.
Yeah, but that's part of being a Greek god is you have the arrogance to manipulate people.
In
That was
spades.
their entire shtick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also like how as you're progressing and gaining all these powers, like every power that he gets is from a different god. So like you get the Zeus lightning bolt and the...
Yeah, it's because they all hate Ares.
Yeah, I know. It's just so funny how he's like... every one of them is like, yeah, fuck this guy, go get him. here, have my lightning bolts.
He is quite literally the redheaded stepchild.
Yes.
Hey.
I mean, he's quite literally. But I mean, and he deserves every fucking inch of that hatred because I've done this. I've fought him, as have you, and he deserves it just for putting me through that alone, because that final boss fight is just bullshit.
It is a real
I thought
challenge.
it was campy that they put out spider legs on him.
That was weird.
He does look like Kerrigan. He's just like, ugh, and then he like, blood splatters out as he grows these like kind of weird batwing things with blades on him. Yeah, he just looks like... I even remember thinking at the
iron
time,
spider.
like, he just looks like Kerrigan from StarCraft. And he attacks like Kerrigan too, because he just like whips those spikes out from his back.
I wasn't on the StarCraft episode, so...
Well, you know what?
No
you need
idea.
to play it.
I do. Well, I've got to play Warcraft first.
We'll play StarCraft 2 for you.
Yeah, just
There you
play
go.
it all. Just play them all.
My
yeah.
plate isn't full enough.
Oh, I know. Jeez. Yeah, but you really only get to use... As far as fighting Ares one-on-one, the first phase isn't too bad because you do have the full range of all your powers. You have your Hades, you've got your choice of blades, all of your abilities and stuff. So I didn't find that first part to be too bad.
I kind of like what they did for the second part, though, is the health bar is kind of who gets the most health at the end of the battle. Because when you hit Ares, his bar goes down, your goes up, and then vice versa. So it comes down to, like, you're sitting there and you're, like, chopping a quarter of his health bar off, like, fuck yeah, and then he knocks half of your health bar out, you're like, fuck no, and you just do that back and forth until you finally win.
Oh my God.
I really liked how that
The
played
attrition,
out.
yeah.
I've just realised that
the-
God of War ends with a literal tug of war.
That is pretty funny.
Hi-oh.
That fight
It's true.
at the end, though, really sucks. Like, at first, until you really get the hang of what you need to do and a good strategy to actually chip away at his health, like, he blocks really well. And then when he counterattacks, like, some of his stuff is unblockable, and he'll just freaking destroy you. Like, I mean... It's like, oh, good, I knocked off a little of his health, and then he'll start blocking, and then he'll counterattack, and it's like, oh, there goes all of my progress.
Yeah, he's very good at breaking your block, and you have to be very quick about putting that block back on again, because just holding the button down is not going to do you any good. Like, you have to actively, like, re-block again, or else that first hit is going to lead to about 3 or 4 more.
Exactly.
And you do not have the health to deal with that. It is. I agree. It is a cool mechanic the way that it's presented, but this guy is just pulling moves out of his arse.
Yeah,
the one you have to play conservatively.
You really do, but the one way that I figured out finally how to do it, like after several times dying, I was just like, "Fuck, this is ridiculous." Like I was even considering, like, I'm at the point where I'm almost not having any fun anymore, and I've seen the end of this game, and I know, so maybe I'll just turn it off. But I was like, no, I'm going to see this through. And I just happened, and I don't know if it was luck or just, finally getting the hang of what you need to do. But when he pulls this thing out where these pillars come up, and then they converge on your location. So like if you're standing in the middle of the arena, like these 4 pillars come up and then they collapse in on you, but you can roll forward or to the side and you'll avoid them. But I was finding that he was vulnerable while he was trying to control these pillars. So I would just roll forward and just start hitting him, and I would do a good amount of damage that way. And then I did get him locked into whatever the quick time event is, which actually isn't a terribly difficult QTE as far as they go. But yeah, that takes a lot of his health out too.
Yeah.
That was the only way I was able to beat him.
I mean, that and the first phase of that fight as well, I found it was the single time that I thought, oh, you know what? I'll give the army of Hades a shot and see what that does. And that's almost a cheat code for that first stage of the fight.
First stage,
yeah. That's why I like the Army of Hades.
Well, they did so much damage to him and would invariably hit him enough that he actually spewed out more magic and more health.
Exactly, that was the best part. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like barfing out health and magic, and it was just like, all right, I guess I'll do the Hades thing again.
Yeah. It was
Now, yeah.
a cool and dramatic final boss fight, and it looks great. I mean, half of me is just like, it's kind of dumb that they're basically kaiju at this point, but okay, I'll let it slide. Fighting in the sort of Bay of Athens, and it looks cool, but Jesus Christ, did it force me to lock in? And I had forgotten just how difficult this game could be at times.
Oh yeah. Speaking of difficult, the second phase, like between your first phase when you have all your weapons and all of your abilities and your magic and stuff, he banishes you to some, nether world or some kind of like recreation of the time where Kratos killed his family, and instead of, he's like, whatever, you got to save your family. So like it's basically kind of an escort mission. It's Natalia 2.0, like they're standing there in the middle and you're getting just absolutely bum rushed by these basically Kratoses. So they have your chaos blades, and that sucks. I found that when I was most successful is they come in from all sides, so they are surrounding you. I would have to roll out, and I would have to sacrifice a little bit of the mother and child's health, because they would kind of, if you roll away from them, then some of the Kratoses attack them. But I basically had to get around them so that I could hit enough of them and where I wasn't getting hit. Like, you cannot be surrounded, but
you will get stun locked.
The stage is designed to stun lock you, so you have to figure out a way out of it. And I would kind of, how in cartoons there's like a fight breaks out and it's like that cloud of like dust or whatever, and then like Bugs Bunny will walk out
everywhere.
I would do that. And then I would hit it from the outside.
Nice. But this is exactly one of those times where it's what Brian was saying earlier on. It's just like that fight just goes on for like about a minute or two too long.
It does.
And she's like, Jesus Christ, come on now.
They keep coming.
Well, that's the thing, where eventually like more and more of the temple breaks away and the Kratoses keep coming, and then they start coming with the Artemis blades, and then they're doing more damage. So it's like it really ramps up at the end. And then there's like a floating platform, and there's one fucker that has the goddamn lightning bolts that he's throwing, and it's like, you're just a shit, because all he's doing is just breaking one of your combos, or throwing that last bolt that kills your family or whatever. Like, he's just there to fuck your day up. And yeah, it does. It goes on for like 10 seconds too long. So it's like, I know I'm close to the end, and I can consistently get within like the last 2 or 3 of these little fuckers. And then, something, either I die or the family dies, and then I'm done. And I have to start it all over again.
Just, again, from a story point of view, I think it's awesome.
Right.
Ares just fucking with Kratos. But yeah, it's just, come on, just let me get through this fight.
Yeah.
That's probably a me problem, though.
No, it's a shitty sequence. It's very challenging, but like not in a way that always feels good, I don't think, because it does have a very weird difficulty spike in that this game is very much, you're fighting the same or different combinations or slightly stronger versions of the enemies. Like, once you get to Hades and all the enemies have that like flame on them, those are by far the toughest enemies. The toughest versions of any of the enemies, like the freaking minotaurs that have like the flame hair. They look cool as hell, but they are tough. And oh man, all the sections with the bow and arrow. We didn't even talk about Hades, like aside from the fact that you go there and then you have to climb your way
Those
out. But
rotating platforms,
I
either
was
horizontal or vertical, can go fuck themselves.
oh, I fucking hated it. I hated it then. I hate it now. Like you, and I forgot that there was a second one. Like, so there's like a rotating column that you have to climb, and there's spikes, rotating in different directions. Like, I've seen this before. Like, by the time I played this, in 2005, I was like, okay, this is kind of like there's a section of Ocarina of Time where you have to like climb up these walls that shift like that, and like, yeah, it kind of sucks. I think it's in like the Spirit Temple or something. It's like, yeah, it's kind of like that, except it's spikes. So you have to kind of climb around the spikes and make sure you don't hit the sides and stuff. And the first one's like, okay, yeah, it was tough, but I eventually got it. And you just take your time. The second one is like, there are sections of it that are basically impassable. And if you get yourself locked into the wrong spot, you either get pinched or you have to slowly climb backwards down and reassess and still maybe hit a spike and fall. It's just like, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous. The second one is egregious.
Yeah, I agree.
Ugh. That's the worst part. That's the worst part of Hades. Then there is some balancing shit in Hades, and also like the cheap ass archers that are just like sitting off on a platform that you can't reach,
waiting
to
to
balance
knock
on
you
something
off.
just to take pot shots at you.
Like
fuckers.
anything with the balancing, it's fucking Luigi's Mansion 2 bullshit all over again.
Yeah.
I will not stand for it. I do not like it, but whatever. It's there. I dealt with it. I raged. I won.
Oh, I did rage a little
That'll
bit at
do.
the end of this. It's just like, man, I wish the rage of the
You're
gods.
just ended up having to go slow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of counterintuitive to have to go slow in something like this, but yeah, there were definitely sections where it benefited you to kind of like slow down and wait for something to slow down or stop, or wait for the right time to crawl forward or whatever. But man, there were times though that I wish that the rage of the gods meter was tied to my actual rage. Gamer rage of the gods.
You'd have had it the whole time. That would have been awesome. Yeah. So I guess that really just, I mean, what haven't we talked about? Basically just the music, I guess, which I think is absolutely fantastic. Like, it just imparts that epic feel to the whole thing. And it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Like, what did you think?
You've got that.
It fit the tone of the game really well. I mean, it added to the kind of grandiose feeling of the game when you see like the Titan, or you see Ares, and the music is just like that epic music you get from these old Greek movies, like these old I can't really think of it right now.
The Harryhausen like stop motion movies, those like Clash of the Titans and The Odyssey, and God, I love those movies.
Yeah, stuff like that. Like the music adds to the size of the game because it just makes it feel like it's way more epic than it probably would if you had no music or
perfect.
A jaunty tune.
That is perfectly said. It adds to the size of the game. Like, I could not agree with you more. It just gives you that sweeping, I don't know, just epic feel, and you're just like, oh, I am on a quest right now, and just get the fuck out of my way, because this it just gets you pumped, right?
Well, and you know what else I liked about the music is like, for the most part, when you're just kind of fighting, the music in the background is more or less not forgettable or bad or anything. It's just like, I don't notice it because I'm focused on what I'm doing. But then once you beat all I
couldn't tell you a song in this game, but you're absolutely right about how it is good enough to be enjoyable, but not so good as to distract you.
Well, and it's got that main theme that's kind of like that, and then you hear that in a Zelda game, you'll hear like a chime or whatever when you like, when you, and it's kind of out of place a little bit, but it definitely is communicating to you that you've solved something or that you can move forward. But this game, like, the music is kind of flowing, and then as soon as you kill that last enemy and can move on, it does that like and then the music changes, but it's like seamless. It's like
Seamless,
really
yeah.
pretty incredible how they
The
did
only
that.
spot in the game I noticed the music is when before you get Zeus's Fury there, and you end up running around that area that I went to with the guy in the bridge that you have to get him to open.
Yeah.
There's triggers around that level though, so when you climb up the ladder and go talk to that guy who won't lift the bridge for you, you can bring down like another mini bridge to quickly get back. And if you do that, the music changes when you're by the guy, and then when you're down back on the platform that you started on, the music goes back to the fight music. And then if you keep doing that loop, which I did a couple of times because I didn't know where to go, it keeps changing back depending on where you are, and you can very well tell where the triggers for the music change is just simply by running around it a few times.
That's
and it's
funny.
like at the top of the ladder, and as soon as you come back off of that like little platform, that's the only time I noticed the music.
Brian's just over there remixing the soundtrack.
Yeah, and like
Remix.
yeah, you're on the border. You're like, now I'm here. Now I'm listening to this. Now I'm listening to this.
I'm on the
It's
left
like that
side,
spot-
on the right side.
I'm in Canada.
Yeah.
I'm in the
Yeah,
US.
it's like-
I'm in Canada. I'm in the US.
Is anyone
like
else
there's a
thinking of
spot-
Dave Chappelle in Robin Hood Men in Tights, or is it just
Yes. Yeah, that.
me?
Absolutely.
Or there's a
All the time.
there's a spot you can stand somewhere and be in like 4 states at once or whatever. I think somewhere in the Southwest. Yeah, one of those things.
Oh.
Yeah. Any other like let's go into final thoughts. Do we have anything else? I think we've gone over pretty much everything.
I think we've done. I think we've covered it. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to start this off? How about Brian? You didn't play this game originally, so let's give you the floor to give you your
No.
thoughts.
And I said I'd explain myself on that one, and I kind of did. It was Heavenly Sword. I played that, and I know this game came out before Heavenly Sword, but I wasn't interested in this game on the PS2 because I was really into my RPGs at the time. And when Heavenly Sword came out, I wouldn't call it exactly the same as this game, but it felt like it was a representative of this game, and I didn't enjoy that, so I ended up not going to this because I somehow made a link between the two, and I don't know where the link came from. So that's pretty much why I never picked up this game. Now, I've never hated this game. It's just never been my type of game to play. So I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so popular that the further away I got from its release date, the less I wanted to play it, because I have a tendency to, veer away from the popular crowd when it comes to stuff like this. And it's just like, you guys are overhyping it. I'm not going to like it. It's just that's pretty much the reason why I didn't play it. However, having played it finally for the first time, I am absolutely going to say it is a fantastically wonderful game, even if it's not in my wheelhouse. The character Kratos, I love the story. I love the entire story of the game, his backstory, how he came to be, the reason his skin is an ash color, his reason for going after Ares. Everything about this story and the way it was presented was absolutely outstanding, in my opinion. I do like the enemy variety in this game. I do dislike some of the enemies, but like Medusa, fuck Medusa. But I do like definitely how there was a variable amount of enemies that became more difficult as you progressed. And of course, I like the Gravedigger. The Gravedigger is probably my favorite character of the game because he feels so out of place, but the payoff is so goddamn good with him. And it's just so subtly done as you climb out of Hades and he's just standing there and just kind of like, what's up? But that was just a brilliant way to bring you back full circle of where you needed to be. I've said it, I don't like the QuickTime events in the middle of a boss fight. I don't mind if a QuickTime event ends a boss fight, because that's kind of the big cinematic payoff, but the fact that you had to basically QuickTime event Hydra 3 times before you got that final payoff, I found that a bit frustrating, especially since I kept falling off the platform because I wasn't good with the dodge mechanic. Which brings another point. The right stick in my brain controls the camera, so don't put the rolling dodge mechanic on the right stick, because as I try to turn the camera, I'm just going to be rolling around the level, and that happened way too often. Saved me a couple of times, other times not so much. The weapons in this game are fun, especially the Blades of Chaos. They are actually really well done for the game, and I really hope they are present in future games, because I think that needs to be a staple of Kratos. If they're not, that's not a big deal. They had their one and done moment and they were great, and you level them up and you have all those combos, but one day I'll learn how to do combos. The magic Not a lot of magic, but just the right amount of magic. Poseidon's Rage and Army of Hades, my two favorite. Medusa's Gaze, absolutely fucking useless 9 out of 10 times. And what's the other one there? Zeus's Fury. It's necessary, but I don't like it. As for everything else, I think the graphics for... I played it at the PS3 version, the HD remake on the PS5 PlayStation Plus, so I can't speak to the original graphics, but this one actually looked pretty good, especially for a PS2 game in the modern era. It was very, very well done. A couple of times I noticed like dated animation techniques, because I'm kind of going through an animation course, and the stuff I'm getting dinged on were present in this game, so it's just a little bit dated, but that's nothing that breaks the immersion of the game. I think I am going to wrap it all up by just simply saying that this is a grandiose, epic tale that really tells a good story, and the payoff at the end, the moment where you get to see Kratos take the throne of the god of war there and kind of break the entire rest of the games in the series, because it explains how Kratos was involved in World War II and all that kind of future stuff that doesn't take place during the series.
Yeah,
makes me wonder how the...
Yeah.
What's that?
He's like the god of all future wars.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's the god of war, right? Hence the name of the game. And of course, at the moment they said, "You are the god of war," I'm like, they said the title of the game.
That's the thing.
But, all right, so wrapping it all up, because I think I just went on a tangent there. I'm going to give this game a very, very solid 9 out of 10.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
Okay. I didn't expect that.
I bet you guys didn't expect that.
No, I did not.
Brian kept his cards close to the vest.
I see the value in this game. Like I said, it is not the type of genre that I really enjoy, but there is nothing I can complain about how this game presented itself and how it played. There is just nothing wrong with it. Well, there's the quick time events, but that's where it lost its point.
Yeah. All right.
See, so what am I going to lose at any points for? Because I like the quick time events.
Well, you'll find some.
I'll find out. I'm just going to jump in here and give my two cents, or my 2 pennies over here in the UK. It's no surprise that this game became the juggernaut of a franchise that it is still to this day. Because it all started with this game. It is an absolutely fantastically presented and scripted and paced hyper-violent romp through the mythology of ancient Greece. And it literally it's just unapologetic in the way that it presents itself. It's, this is the guy that you're playing. He is incredibly pissed off, and he doesn't care who knows it. And eventually we're going to tell you the reason why, and it's all going to make sense. The gameplay is excellent, snare drum tight. I mean, for a PS2 game, it's a very solid game. And what I mean by that, it's just everything sort of functions. There's no slowing down, there's no graphical glitches, there's nothing like that. I mean, this was crafted meticulously with not just the visuals, the music, the voice acting, all of that good stuff is just basically made to the highest degree. And it's very telling. Like, I want to touch on the point that you made there, because they kind of covered both bases with the end of the game here. Because yes, I mean, I did notice that this playthrough as well. Kratos is now the god of all future wars. And it's kind of like, well, that is where the game ends. But then right at the very end, they're like, yeah, we know we crafted a banger, though. So right at the end, they put Kratos will return. It's just like, yeah, because we could end it here, but this game is going to slap, so we're probably not going to. And I'm really, really, really glad that they didn't, because this series is absolutely impeccable. Like, I love every single God of War, and it all came from this one. It's just astounding. I don't know. I mean, I can't put it any better than Brian himself said. It's just, even some of those things that piss me off while playing, some of the timed events that you have to get through are incredibly frustrating, but they're doable. they're not broken. They just require you to be that good to get past them. So that's really more on you, the player, and how you've built and leveled up your Kratos to survive those challenges. So I can't even really ding it for that. Yeah, it's just it's a game that I will go back to every few years and just replay and enjoy it. And now that I've started this one, guess I'm going to play number 2 and number 3 and Ascension and all of that good shit as well. So yeah, I'm going to agree. Bad radio, I'm sorry, but yeah, I'll give it a 9 out of 10 as well. It's just that good.
Yep.
Nice.
Can't argue with that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not as surprised by Alan's score. I was surprised by Brian's score. Pleasantly surprised. Yeah, I don't truly don't have as much to add here because you guys have already said it. I think one of the gripes that I didn't mention graphically, because I played it on PS2, I have a copy of it because I didn't realize it was on PS Plus through this collection. I was like, well, whatever. That was a miss on my part. I probably would have looked better up-resed and on the PS3 version via PS5. But I did play it on original PS2, and I thought it was a bit dark. And I don't know if that was just my setup or, playing on old hardware or whatever, but sometimes that was challenging because the screen was just too dark for me to see where I was supposed to go. But yeah, I mean, I like the story is great. The, Greek mythology, I like those kinds of movies from the 70s and 80s with the stop motion animation, all the skeletons and all the different gods and mythical creatures and stuff. That's just a fun, set of mythology and storytelling and kind of a modern, type of, I guess, story within mythology. Obviously this isn't true Greek mythology. They're just, it's just a story inspired by, and using elements of Greek mythology. But, yeah, the gameplay is great. QuickTime events are what they are, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to just wrap it up because you've heard my thoughts. I love a good puzzle, puzzle solving and dungeon crawling and that kind of thing. So not that this is a dungeon crawler. Anyways, whatever. I'm going to give this a 9 too. It is really bad radio, but I can't quite push it up to that 9.5, 10. But I really enjoyed going back to this after 20 years. I think I played it initially, and I don't know if I ever went back to it. I can't recall if I did, but good time. And I do have God of War 2. I'm ready to just like play on and get into the modern games too. I'd like to do like a complete run through. So
yeah, I'm actually more interested now in playing the original or like the PS4 God of War.
Yeah, and God of War 2, as if I remember, is like it is a better game. It takes everything that the first God of War does and expands on it. Gives you different weapons and things that you can use, and it is a brighter, kind of more colorful game too. So I'm looking forward to diving into 2.
I mean, I would argue that 2, 3, and Ascension all just kind of get better and better as they go along, just because of that fact. I mean, the PSP games are great. They fill in some little gaps in the story, but, they are a kind of a step back to the more PS2 style of gameplay, as you'd expect. That's just what the PSP did. But it's just the journey that these games take you on, and the risk with rebooting the series and moving Kratos somewhere else, could have been shit. But they do such a fantastic job of adapting the character and showing the character growth in, what was it, 2018, I think God of War came out, the latest ones. And
almost
it
retro
just
now.
Well, yeah, it feels like a continuation of the character. And I mean, every kind of character change is fully justified. And it's just like those 2 PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games are just masterpieces.
I wouldn't know. I haven't played them yet.
I would very much recommend playing all of the other stuff before you get there, just because you'll get that much more out of the experience and where Kratos is in that point of his story.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Maybe I will. Maybe I won't.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in just like keeping this ball rolling and firing up 2 as my game on the side. Like Yeah, I was just absolutely smitten by this the second time through, or third time. I don't remember how many times I've played it, but definitely.
I would love to do that, but I've a side game on the go right now, and if I add another one, then I'm going to get neither of them done, and I don't want to do that to God of War 2.
That's true, yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't know when else I'll play it, so I might just have to make the sacrifice and just dive in. But anyways, that's straight nines from the Retrotopia crew on God of War. So if you've never played it before and you have access on PS Plus, that is definitely probably the best way to play it. But if you've got a PS2 laying around, copies can be had for not too much coin. I don't know. It's just a great game, great experience. I would definitely recommend it. So, what do we got? Well, I've said it before in the intro, probably linktree/Retrotopia. We got cool shit there. Join the Discord. Join the Patreon. There's a free tier. There's a paid tier. You get stuff for each. That's just the quick rundown. But what do we got next week, boys?
All being well.
What do we got next week?
Yeah,
all being well, I finally
schedules.
get all of my Christmases and birthdays and everything come at once. Because assuming we all get it done, well, assuming Sam gets it done, it'll be Mass Effect.
Yes.
My glorious, glorious Mass Effect.
I am gonna do my best, but yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. So as long as I get my wheels under me on this and I don't have anything else distracting me, I could probably I'll push through it. But I'm looking forward to getting more into it and talking about it next week. So Mass Effect. I know several in our community will be very happy if they are not already. So yeah, until next time, everyone, have fun out there, stay safe, and try not to kill your family on accident.
And from that point forward, throughout the rest of time, whenever men rode forth to battle for good cause or for evil, they did so under the watchful eye of the man who had defeated a god. They were driven forward
by Alan,
the mortal who had become the new god of war.
Hi there, everyone. We here at Retrotopia couldn't do what we do without the support of our Patreons. And to that effect, we would like to shout out the heroes at our hero tier. So a huge Retrotopia thank you from all of the hosts here to Guy Who Does Things, Joe Frigger, Shadowblaze511, Dan Torma, Brian Heng, Sharkbite, Brian Spritzer, Ovindley, Shane's World, Brother Retro, H, Raging Demon, Old Man Gamer, Game Genius, Dylan Jacobson, The Big Deal, Mr. Blobbert Blobbertstein, King Hooli III, Calin Hygus, Radmac, Fallen Snow Kiku, Stud Still Smash, Sergeant Ombre, Big Brown Dog, Jack Datchler, Unbuckled Cape, Wildcard, Super Dave, Sir Busts-a-Lot, Big Kid 782, David Hendley, Chris Kaplane, J Nasty 15, Because 19, Randy Berridge, Makeshift Money, and Andrew Wright. So thanks as always for your support, guys. It truly means the world to us and means we can keep doing this little thing that we love so much. Game on.